All right, so here is the Quiz 10 study guide. And let's see, number 1 through 4, solution, solve. First 8 questions basically have the same directions. You're solving the, you're finding the solutions to the functions. You know, and I mean, for this first problem, to be honest with you, I think it would just be the easiest way to solve this first problem would just be to complete the square. Remember, we take half of b, you take b divided by 2, and you square it, and you add it to both sides. So that would be 8 divided by 2 squared, which would be 4 squared, which would be 16. So if we add 16 to the left and add 16 to the right, on the left-hand side, this would factor to x plus 4 squared equals negative 12 plus 16. That's 4. You can then square root both sides. So on the left-hand side, we get x plus 4 equals 2. I'm sorry, it equals positive or negative 2. So then we solve it twice. We get x plus 4 equals the positive 2, and x plus 4 equals the negative 2. Subtract 4 from each side. So we get an x value of negative 2 and an x value of negative 6. So those are your two solutions for that equation. Looking at this problem here, 5 times 3 is 15, and with a 5 and a 3, you can get to an 8. So this can be factored pretty simply by x minus 5 times x minus 3 equals 0. In that case, you can set each factor equal to 0. So x minus 5 equals 0, and x minus 3 equals 0. So add 5 here. You get an x equal to 5, and add 3. X equals 3. Number 3. 3x squared plus 23x plus 30 equals 0. This is going to have to be factored. So the factors of 3x squared are 3x and x. We need a 23 in the middle. So multiples or factors of 30, 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 5 and 6. 15 and 6 doesn't work. 3 and 10. So that would be 30 and 3. That doesn't work. If a 6 goes here, if a 6 goes here and a 5 goes here, we get 3x squared. We get an 18x. X times 5 is 5x. 5x and 18x, there's the 23, and 6 times 5 is the 30. So there's our factors. So we go 3x plus the 5 and x plus the 6. So 3x plus 5 is equal to 0, and x plus 6 equals 0. Solve them both. We get a negative 5/3. And a negative 6. For number 4, let's see if 42 is divisible by 4. It's not evenly anyway. So everything here can be divided by 2. So on the left, we would have a 2x squared minus a 21x plus a 40 equal to 0. And then we, again, factor this left side. Factors of 40, we got 1 and 40, we got 2 and 20, 3, 4 and 10, 5 and 8. That's it. So we need to get to negative 21. 10 and 4, 10 and 8. An 8 right here and a 5 right here would give us 2x squared, would give us a 16x, a 5x, and a 40. And with a 16 and a 5, you can get to 21. But it's got to be a negative 21. So the 16's got to be negative, and so does the 5. So this 5's negative, and so is the 8. So your factors are 2x minus 5 and x minus 8. So 2x minus 5 is equal to 0, and x minus 8 is equal to 0. Can add 5 here. Add 8 to this right side. That's ugly. All right, so there's your two solutions. Number 5, we got 3x squared equals 15. There's no term with just an x in front of it, so we're going to get x squared by itself. We're going to divide both sides by 3. X squared equals 5. Gonna square root each side. X equals positive or negative square root of 5. You can leave it like that, or if your answers are in decimals, you can do positive or negative. You take 5 and find the square root of it, which is 2.24. So either way, it just depends on how the answers are offered up to you on a multiple choice. This is your simplest radical form. There's your decimal form. They're both equal to each other. Number 6, we got 75x squared equals 108. Divide both sides by 75. So x squared would equal 108 over 75. If we square root both sides, then our x is equal to get a 1.2, positive or negative 1.2. And that's 108 divided by 75 and then finding the square root of it. Now, your quiz is going to be multiple choice. And simplifying this radical 108 over 75 is a little bit of a lengthy process. Okay? So if your answers happen to be in radical form, all right? You know what I mean by radical form? If you get answer A and you get answer B, answer C, and answer D, and they're all in this form, plus or minus okay, just take your different radicals and just find the square root of 21, all right? And then find the square root of 18. And then find the square root of 26 and match up your decimals to the decimal answer that you have down here. Okay? Number 7, solve the equation. We got x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 9. On the left hand side of this equation, you got a perfect square. So this factors to x plus 2 squared is equal to 9. If you find the square root of each side, on the left-hand side, you're left with an x plus 2. On the right-hand side, you got a positive or negative 3. So you write two equations now. Again, x plus 2 equals 3. X plus 2 equals negative 3. Solve for x. All right, your solutions are 1 and negative 5. Same process here. You got a perfect square on the left, but this is a negative, or this is a minus. So this is this factors to x minus 2 squared. equals 100, and you find the square root of both sides. So x minus 2 equals positive or negative 10. X minus 2 equals 10. X minus 2 equals negative 10. Add 2 to each side. X equals 12. X also equals negative 8. There's your two solutions. Number 9, they're asking what value completes the square for the expression, and we got x squared plus 18x. Remember, to complete the square, we take b, we divide it by 2 and square it. So that's 18 divided by 2 squared. That's 9 squared, which is 81. So the value that completes the square for the expression is a positive 81. Number 10 is the same question. X squared minus 12x. What completes the square? Take b divided by 2 and square it. That is negative 12 divided by 2 squared. Negative 6 squared, which is 36. So positive 36 completes the square. All right, 11 and 12, solve the quadratic by completing the square. So we got x squared plus 14x plus 144, or plus 44 equals 0. All right, if we're going to complete the square, we're going to get the 44 off that side. So we're subtracting 44 from each side. And we get x squared plus 14x equals, leave that space in there, negative 44. Now we're going to complete the square, but whatever we add to the left, make sure you add it to the right. All right, so we got 14 over 2 squared. That's 7 squared. That's 49. Add 49 here, add 49 here. Got to do it. If you got a highlighter, I would highlight that and that. People forget to add it to both sides all the time. All right? Got to add it to both sides. So on the left-hand side, we got a perfect square now. This is x plus 7 squared. Negative 44 plus 49, that is a positive 5. We're going to square root both sides. So we get x plus 7 equals positive or negative square root of 5. Subtract 7 from each side. So x is equal to negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 5. Now, if you need to, depending on what your answers look like, we go negative 7 plus square root of 5 and negative 7 minus square root of 5. So 7 negative plus 5 square root equals, that's negative 4.76. And then 7 negative minus 5 square root, that's negative 9.24. So those are your two solutions. All right, number 12. We got negative 3x squared minus a 7x. Now we're going to, let's see, equals negative 1. This is going to be ugly, but we're going to divide everything by negative 3. We're going to get this 3 out from in front of that x squared. On the left-hand side, we're going to get x squared plus 7/3 x equals 1/3. Now, we're going to follow the same rule to complete the square. We're going to take our b, which is 7/3. We're going to divide it by 2, and we're going to square it. So 7/3 divided by 2 is 1 1/6. We got to square it. So that value is sitting on your calculator. You can push x squared. You get 1.36. So 1.36 gets to be added to both sides. Now, when you factor this value right here, this half of b squared. Let me look back up here real quick. Half of 14 squared is what made this a perfect square. Okay? Half of 14 is what the factor was. Okay? So your factor, when you factor this left side, it is going to be x plus 1 1/6. 1 1/6. What's 1 1/6 as an improper? It might be easier to work with. That's 7/6. All right, 1 1/6. It's the same as 7/6 squared. 7/6 squared can also be 49/36. So let's do this right now. Let's get rid of this 1.36. All right. Our half of b squared is 49/36. So this is 49/36. And on the right-hand side, we got 49/36. This factor here is 7/6. On the right-hand side, you got 1/3 plus 49/36. 1 25/36, or 61/36. if you square root both sides. On the left-hand side, you get x plus 7/6. On the right-hand side, you get positive or negative square root of 61 over 36. Now, I'm going to go over here for a second. I want to show you this. Look, the square root of 61 over 36 is the same as the square root of 61 over the square root of 36. Well, 36 is a perfect square. So all of this right here is the same as the square root of 61 over 6. So you got two equations to write now. All right, so we're going to go x plus 7/6 equals square root of 61 over 6, and x plus 7/6 again equals negative square root of 61 over 6. And then you got to subtract 7/6 from each side. So we got an x equal to negative 7/6 plus square root of 61 over 6. And we've got a, let's see, negative 7/6 and negative 7/6. We got an x equal to negative 7/6 minus square root 61 over 6. There's your two solutions. That completes your study guide for quiz number 10. E-learners, if you don't have any questions, you're excused from the Zoom meeting at this time. There will be no Zoom meeting tomorrow, just your quiz. I will have it available for you either later this afternoon or early tomorrow morning.